Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Um, After listening to Dr. Ledika, I hope you will be able to give me some attention. Today, I shall be speaking about literature search and reference management, both of which are important building blocks for publishing. So, what is literature search? Well, it is the systematic and well organized search from already published literature, meaning that it helps us to practice evidence based medicine. It also helps us to identify good quality references on a specific topic, thereby enabling us to dig deeper. And in other words, it is a thorough search of all types of published literature so that it helps us to identify, as Dr. Ladika pointed out, the lacunae in a specific topic in medical literature. So these lacunae, which are the unmet need of our times, sorry, these lacunae, they are the most important factors which help us to formulate our research question. So literature search can be done from electronic sources or from print sources or even from secondary sources, which include the textbooks or the government publications or the dissertations or even from unpublished data. So, although there are many search engines and databases, I personally use the Google Scholar and the PubMed the most. And once you know the basics of searching in these search engines, you would be able to use any other search engine. So, what is PubMed? PubMed describes itself as a free resource supporting the search and retrieval of biomedical and life sciences literature. So today I shall be giving you a few pointers about how to conduct a search in PubMed. So before actually you go into PubMed, I think you should open a Word document and you should copy paste your research question into it. Your research question should not only have the FINER aspects, it must also have the PICOT, as Dr. Ladika has pointed out. And it should have all these PICOT, which includes the population, the intervention group, the comparator, intervention, the comparator, the outcome, and the time period. Break down the research question into the main concepts and get the keywords for these main concepts. So you can get these keywords by an ordinary Google search, and then you can also use the synonyms of the keywords and the variant word functions. I shall describe the variant word functions after some time, and check your spelling. So once we have got these things ready, then we can go into PubMed and use the Boolean operators to join our keywords. Now these Boolean operators are AND, OR, and NOT not. In biomedical literature, we use AND and OR. So in these Venn diagrams on the right side over here, you can see that and actually contracts the search, whereas OR actually expands the search because you are getting articles which contain not only the individual keywords, but articles which contain both the keywords together. So sometimes when we do a search without adding a Boolean operator, PubMed automatically adds and that is what is given precedence, and you will find that mostly that is added automatically. Let us look at some other concepts like nesting and truncation. So the concept of nesting is similar to the concept of putting or opening out brackets in algebra. So when you want to consider similar concepts, then all you have to do is to put brackets around them, and then PubMed or whatever search engine is there, it will try to look into those questions or those search keywords first. And it is best to use brackets so that those keywords will be looked up first. And secondly, if you're using phrases, like say you want to look for macular hole, it is best to provide double quotation marks around macular hole. If you do not provide double quotation marks, you will get something around 7,500 to 8,000 results, because they are searching not only for macular, they are also searching for hole, and they are also searching for macular hole. So if you put double quotation marks, you get macular hole only, and lots of these are then eliminated. Similarly, sometimes it so happens that you know one word, but you want to know the variant functions of that word. Like say you have the word child and you want to know about childhood and some other word which is similar to child or childhood, but you do not remember it. So what you can do is you can put an asterisk after child, and then the PubMed will search all those words which provide you with that similar thing. So if I put, say, an asterisk after child, I get child, children, childhood, all those searches become relevant. You can also use field tags. Field tags, like if you want to have only the titles which contain the given keyword, then you can add TI after your keywords, or you can add title and abstract TIAB. Now let us look at another concept, and that is the mesh terms. Now, mesh terms are rather different from the keywords. Sometimes what happens, different terminologies are available for the same idea. So, but supposing we are using one term, but we supposing do not remember the alternative term or do not remember the available terms which are with PubMed. So what we can do is we can use these mesh terms. So mesh terms are used for indexing in Medline journals, and that gives a vocabulary that gives uniformity and consistency to the indexing and cataloging of biomedical literature. Sorry. So when we click on an article of interest and scroll down to that mesh terms part, we can get a list of terms from which we can choose terms that are relevant for us, and we can add to the search builder so that we can perform a comprehensive search. And so we can use multiple mesh terms to get an idea about a given concept. So once we have the keywords and the mesh terms ready, you can go to the search results, and then you can combine the headings of all those search results together. So you can put #1, then put in a Boolean operator, then you can put the #2 for the next search, and then you can combine the search. And then it is best to use both keywords as well as mesh terms for the purpose. Sometimes mesh terms might not be available for all of those, or sometimes the articles would not be indexed, and then it is best, therefore, to use both of these things together. Most of the time, the literature search is usually done from the Medline databases like PubMed or from the Cochrane databases. It is best to go for the meta-analysis or the RCTs or the landmark studies. We can also look into the bibliography of the main articles and obtain references for our study. And PubMed also provides us something called similar articles, where we can click on an article of interest, and then there is also a portion called cited by. So we can get relevant information from that also. Now I come to the second part of my topic, and that is the reference management. So in my early days, in order to include an article into my reference, all I did was to take that article in PubMed, click on its right side for the cite button, and then this box with the details of the site, whatever citation I needed comes. Then I just format it into the way the given journal wants, and then copy paste into my Word document. So usually this is how my Word document would look like, multiple references in it. What I found was that if I wanted to move one paragraph from one position to another, or if I wanted to change one reference from one position to another, then things used to become very, very difficult. And that is where the reference managers are most useful. So the common reference managers are the EndNote and Mendeley and Zotero. EndNote is a paid subscription-based, otherwise Mendeley and Zotero are freely available. So now Mendeley is available as Mendeley Reference Manager and Mendeley Site. Basically, working on these is a very intuitive process, and what I do is I just click on the article of interest, and there is this PubMed index, the PubMed index number which is available. All I have to do is to just copy paste this PubMed index into the Mendeley library, and this is the library where I click on the add new button, and I get this page, and then I copy paste this PubMed index number into it. Once I click on this add entry, all these data gets filled up automatically, and then this citation or this reference gets included in my library. So that way it becomes very easy, and this is how it appears. So whenever I'm doing a literature review, or whenever I'm putting an working on a manuscript, all I have to do is to click on the references, and the reference manager appears on the right side. Then all I have to do is to just click on whatever article, whatever topic I want to click into to insert, And that becomes a very easy process. As I said before, the best part was the insert bibliography part. I can make as many changes into the manuscript and change the position of the paragraphs. It becomes very easy to rearrange it. The Mendeley reference manager automatically rearranges it. So, in conclusion, I want to emphasize that literature search is an ongoing process. You may have conducted a search and submitted to a journal, but by the time the article gets published, or it's rejected, and you want to consider a new journal, you have to conduct the literature search more and more to make it more with the times. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you, Dr. Smita, for that very smart and enlightened